I think there's some things that happened in NFL Week 1 that we certainly need to chat about, like the replay system, okay? And Chuck Pagano, obviously, the year that you stopped coaching, you went to the NFL, and you were around, I believe, the refs and the officiating. What is the advanced replay? Is that what they're calling this entire
Replay assist, Pat.
Replay assist, and they're using it this year. There was a play actually in Seattle-Denver game that I didn't realize happened. I assume Seattle and Denver fans realized it happened. But I think as an NFL fan, we need to be very pumped about this taking place. Here's the situation as it unfolded in real time.
Nick's off-balance throw, and it's short. Looking for Sutton. And now a flag is thrown. Boy, what's
fourth
the call
quarter
here in the backfield? Leonard Williams was there for Seattle.
Two-score game.
What a potentially massive call this is.
You know, to me, the question is, did they hit Bo Nix in the head? And B, did they take more than a step and a half after he released the football on whether or not to call roughing the passer?
After replay assist, there's no foul for a personal foul.
Boom. That's a huge deal.
Huge.
Now, obviously, that message is delivered in Seattle, so they're excited about that. If that message gets delivered in an away stadium, obviously it's not going to have the same reaction in-house. But watching along, I am very excited that they're using that because that's a 15-yarder in the fourth quarter, down 2 scores, momentum swing, everything. For them to just sit there for 20 seconds, it felt like 25 seconds, let the people upstairs or in New York kind of rewatch it and then go, nah, pick it up, let's move forward. That's huge for the NFL and I think for football as a whole.
Great for the game. Competition committee. So that one you saw there, they voted and passed that hits to the head and neck of a passer, ineligible downfield on a pass play, late hits out of bound, and then grounding as it pertains to pressure, pocket, and line of scrimmage. That's what replay assist at this point in time can get involved with. So to your point, like you said, for something like this to happen and flip a game, cost somebody an opportunity at a playoff game or whatever, I think it's huge. And Coach Belichick, you have him on every week, and it's fascinating. I love listening to him. And every time we went to the owners' meetings, he always talked about every time when they talk about replay and what to review, he was like, Give us 2 challenges. We win them 2. Give us another one, but let us replay. Challenge anything. And they don't want to open up that Pandora's box to challenge everything because there's so much subjectivity with these officials. So they're starting to, this replay assist, replays expanding. Will it ever get to where Belichick wanted it to get to, where we could challenge everything? I don't know. Time will tell.
Hey, we've wanted this replay assist thing since we saw, I think since we saw football happen, but also with the XFL, how easy they were able to kind of overturn things.
Yeah.
The fact that the NFL is letting this happen, good for football time. We've wanted this for a long time.
Yeah, without a doubt. And especially when they're talking the Hawkeye technology, and we thought that might be kind of like the next iteration of that. But then we saw how long that took. Like, this is exactly what needs to happen in these situations, especially in the fourth quarter. Like, you watch that play, and Pat, you always talk about how they put the replay up in the stadium immediately, and everyone in the stadium, and then most of the people who are watching the game live and on the internet, they're all in agreement, like, hey, that's not a penalty. Pretty easy, okay? Like, it should be a bang-bang decision. Let's overturn this and keep playing and move this on very quickly. So if we can have these situations where they don't have to take 3 to 4 minutes in the fourth quarter when it's seemingly a very obvious call, like, this is massive. And hopefully this is the kind of thing where the refs aren't, I don't know, are the refs the one asking for the replay assist?
I think they drop in the ear
They just
there.
go right in?
They just get right in their ear.
Which is huge.
Huge. Because then the pride, ego of on-field refs isn't being, the head ref isn't looking at one of his refs and saying, I don't believe you, and then going, because that's bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
That's not good for their relationship, chemistry, team chemistry either. So for them just to jump in there and kind of fix it in real time. And also, there was a...
Oh, yeah.
So for them saying that's not a penalty, that's good for football.
Huge.
No head and neck.
Yeah, but it was like to a quarterback. I think last 5 years.
Yeah, forcible blow. Some could say, yeah, maybe, but I love it.
But the league is actually coming in and saying, nah, that's not a penalty. That is not a penalty. We're going to continue to play football right there. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because that would have been called 10 times out of 10 in the past. It was called right there, and they weren't able to fix it. Now the league's able to come in and say, we're able to do that. It protects the refs on the field more than anybody else, I think. Because to your point, Ty, about what we've always chatted about, it's like we all know the right answer. But these refs aren't even allowed to look at the not even allowed to know if they were right or wrong. If they're caught looking at the Jumbotron and reacting, they get fired or made fun of on the internet. So literally everybody's allowed to use 4K. Everybody's allowed to use super slow motion. Everybody's allowed to zoom in on the exact thing. But the refs on the field are only allowed to use their eyes in real time and have to make the decision. So it's always been like, well, the refs on the field don't want to get cucked by camera or by technology because you're kind of dunking on the on-field refs. They have a lot of pride too, and this is their profession, and yada, yada, yada. And we've always made the point like, hey, let's make their lives better so that they're not getting their asses booed out of the building whenever they were wrong, but we could easily make it right for them. It helps their lives. It helps the game. It helps the quality. It helps the efficiency. I'm thankful that we are in a time where the NFL is like, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a go. And, the NFL is like the Titanic. So to turn left, which they should have done with the Titanic.
For sure.
Yeah. They should have done it.
Never know with the glaciers.
Yeah, should have just turned left. But it's hard to necessarily just like steer things as quick as we all want it to be. This has been something like 3-4 years in the making. And now that we're finally doing it, it's like, thank God. Let's go ahead and do this. And let's expand this because I think it makes the on-field ref's life a lot better. Yeah. Hussey was reffing the Texans and the Colts game. And he was awesome. They were on field. There was an advanced assist thing happening. Crowd was getting antsy, booing. And he turns and goes, we were trying to figure out whether or not, like he explained the situation.
He actually apologized.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It was awesome.
It was sweet. It was like he was a human, which is also something we've been asking for some time too. Like, hey, the white cap, that person is on a solo shot in front of 50 million people. There's not a lot of humans that get solo shots representing a sport, a league, everything in front of that many humans, except for our head ref. Need that ref to have a little
pizzazz.
Need to have a little confidence, moxie, pizzazz, sauce, everything like that. And you're representing the sport. You're not just representing that game. You're representing the entire sport. So the reason why Hockey League was loved, Gene Steratore was loved, Cleats loved, Huss loved, it's because like little moxie, little sauce, little confidence, and also explaining what just happened.
Yeah.
I think good. Let's not get too chatty.
Sure.
Of course not.
We don't need this to be
I don't like that he apologized, but
I appreciate that there was a little transparency.
It was great.
It was great.
He's doing his job.
No, I agree, but like I like that he's at least treating these fans as humans as opposed to just being a robot. I think we're getting to a good spot. And now, granted, what he said was not great for the Colts, so he got booed. But at halftime, I saw him, he and I know each other, and I was like, hey, I love that you just explained that shit pretty efficiently and quickly. I mean, you got your ass booed, but like I appreciate that you did that. I think it's good. I think we're in a good spot with the refs right now. The illegal formation, obviously, is a whole thing that they're trying to stop, but like everything else feels good.
They were way too technical. First game of the year.
I
All
agree.
those 1, 2, 3 right in a row against the Ravens at Chiefs, way too technical. It's got to be clearly the helmet. Like they say, it's got to break the belt line of the center, right?
They're trying to nip that shit in the bud right now, right?
There was a memo sent out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And that's not the refs,
After
right?
that
That's coming from higher.
After that happens, there's a memo set out and said, okay, look, that helmet's got to be clearly behind the butt of the center.
After this first,
because they were way too technical, and the ones that they called when they go back and they slow it down and they show a still aside right down the yard line, they're breaking the belt. So they were like, okay, look, they made it a point of emphasis. It's too much. It's too technical. This is where we're going to draw the line. And how many did you see?
So hopefully this week, not nearly as many.
Yeah, especially tonight.
But to be clear to the NFL, everybody that plays tackle, and there are rookie tackles out there that are starting, and I hope they do very well. But tackles are like a kicker position, a quarterback position, normally play for pretty long, like that's one of one there. They know when it's no longer the point of emphasis either. So, like, I think trying to nip it in the bud early was a good idea, good concept. But these veteran tackles, I mean, every time they are going to see how far. You just natural lineup. Let me drag my foot right here. Just that is a game within a game. You hear AQ Shipley talking about, nah. And then hear JJ Walker, and these guys are cheating. Feels like that's been since the beginning of time. That is going to be how it goes. I don't think anybody wants to see the flags for illegal formation, but I would like to commend the refs for having a great week one in my eyes. And I think the instant replay and the explanation that's happening, and hopefully, we don't get a ref that just looks confused about what they're saying, doesn't work the microphone. What number? Because you're representing the entire sport at that exact time.